when the convergence of the timelines happens, you might see the magicians, the secret magicians that rule the world, their control mechanisms will fail. The rise of technology will enslave all of humanity with reptilian overlord precision energy directed and targeted at the chosen ones. It's very serious. It's very serious stuff. But there's nothing you can really do about it except focus on increasing the downflow of energy through the through point of your heart chakras, all three of them. The leftmost chakra, accessing the timeline convergence energy, which will dispel any reptilian overload.
Like, listen to this shit. Do you hear this shit? Honey, that's spiritual escapism. And it's killing you. It's keeping you sick, stuck, tired, alone, cut off from society at large. If you are ready to stop sounding like a mental patient, stick around. This episode is for you. So today on the Shaman Patrick Show, we're going to talk about how spiritual escapism needs to die.
He was once a storm in human form, sharp tongue, cold soul, heart worn and torn, living like a ghost who missed his grave till the spirit sang out and called him brave. He got rewired by the great unknown, heard the call like a dial tone to the bone. So pull up a chair, enjoy the glow. This is the Shaman Patrick Show.
I am back to black and white because I messed around with color and lighting for half an hour. And I could have been done with this video by that time. So I'm just going to be in black and white until I can just get, I don't know, color and me. Plus, when I'm color, I just look like a normal everyday person. And I'm not an ordinary everyday person. I'm not special or unique, but I like the timelessness of black and white and the artistic feel of it. And I don't have to worry about, I can come straight from the gym and be a mess, or I can be, it could be early in the morning. I love the simplicity of it. I don't like complications anymore. I'm too old for complications. I want simplicity. Now, I want to show you a picture here of two men. Now, which is the more spiritual person? Which is the more conscious person? Can you tell? Let's say this is America. And these two guys are both from Chicago. They both went to college. They both had an ordinary life. So which is the more spiritual one? Well, we don't know. But if this guy is walking around in public like this, it's probably a costume. It's probably a costume. Whenever I see people in these costumes and they're not monks, Buddhist monks, Hare Krishna, or what, it's probably a costume, because a conscious person won't need to wear all this shit. A conscious person will say, this is impractical. Give me some pockets. Give me some comfort. I mean, this does look comfortable, but this would draw a lot of attention. It might make people treat him a little differently. Well, this guy he's dressed really well, but it might shock you to know that conscious people, spiritually awakened people, they generally don't look all that different from other people. Why is this? Well, they've moved through that transitional phase. They've moved from that liminal phase. I'm going to talk about liminal phases later on in an upcoming episode, but you have your spiritual awakening, you go crazy, that spiritual ego takes you over, and eventually you do enough work on yourself, you come out of it. You don't need the energies and the timeline. You don't need any of that stuff because it doesn't really have a relevance in the present moment. The more you get into your being, the less of that matters at all. Now, I'm not saying that that's wrong, okay? I'm not saying that any of that stuff is wrong. I love me some spiritual escapism, but I know what it is. I mean, what else are you going to watch? What else are you going to do? It doesn't mean it's not true, but at the same time, get back into your body and out of your mind. A lot of these spiritual escapists are all up in the mind and less in the body. Now, I'm going to talk about something. As you know, I made a video, or some of you may know, I made a video about the work of Gigi Young. And I was shocked on Monday to log into my YouTube account to receive a copyright strike from her. And when I logged in and saw I had a copyright strike, I didn't think it would be from her. I thought it might be from Whitney Webb, Tim Dillon. I didn't expect it from a spiritual person, especially not her. She seemed to be confident in what she was teaching. She seemed to be really confident. And I thought, oh, I'm just going to make a video as a counterpoint. Now, I am within my rights for fair use to comment on any video on YouTube. You are too. As long as it's commentary, criticism, you can do that. YouTube protects fair use. But I didn't want to respond to that claim in a way that would invoke a legal. I thought, let's just be cool, bro. Let's be cool about all this, right? So I sent her this email, and the email was, hello, this morning I logged into YouTube to discover that you had claimed copyright on a video I made about your video about the secret 100 people who are ruling the world. Yes, I reacted to your video as a counterpoint, and you are well within your right to object to people using your content without permission. If you want the content removed, I am completely okay with that. You are a YouTuber as well, and you know the chain of events that can happen when a channel starts receiving strikes. I'm asking you to remove the strike, and I will take the video down. No harm, no foul. I respect you as a researcher and a teacher, but like anyone else, I disagree on some things you say. My video was an attempt to relieve some fears around this subject for my audience. As an American shaman from Edgar Cayce's hometown, I mention that because I know she likes the work of Edgar Cayce. My role is to help people dissolve their illusions around fear and control. In many ways, I'm continuing the work Edgar started right in the place where he left off. I truly hope you reconsider, and I promise you that I will never mention your work again if you remove the strike. I will remove the video and delete it. I'm a small creator and cannot afford the strike on my channel. Much love, Shaman Patrick. And I got no response. And I actually thought of, let me see if I can pull this up. I actually thought of re-editing the video and uploading it. Edited and morphed so that it wouldn't get copyright struck again. So this is what I thought about doing.
A vision. It's good to come back around to a real center point and discuss, okay, well, what and who is really causing all of this? And how can we recognize it? And
when I made that, I'm like, this is all bullshit. This is all spiritual escapism. Like when you put filters on it and you give it a funny face and a funny voice, it's like, oh my God, this is all crazy. This is all just crazy stuff. And so I asked my husband if I should pursue and like try to get my channel unstriked. And he said, she looks crazy. Don't do it. Don't mess with her. Don't mess with her. You don't want to mess with her. She's probably vindictive and mean. And I'm disappointed because I really did respect Gigi's work. And I thought that she could handle or even desire some open conversation about it. She would probably never want to get interviewed. I'm probably gonna like the Nick Fuentes of spirituality. So, because I am no longer in that area. I was never allowed to go into these groups. I was never accepted into these groups at all. It broke my heart in the beginning because I really needed help. I wanted to be around my people, but I also knew that I was on a different path, that my spirit guides were telling me, stay away from this, stay away from that. Don't do this. And not only that, but man, I've tangled with some spiritual teachers out there who do not like me at all. They don't, because I've stuck up like when people from the shamanism group on Facebook were bullying Allison Charles, the rock star shaman, I stood up for her. Like, as a shaman, I'm going to stick up for the underdogs. I'm going to stick up for people who are being lied about, treated poorly. I'm going to stick up for them. It's why I stick up for Peter Thiel and Alex Carpenter. It's what shamans do. It's our role. It's our function. We don't like abuse and we don't like bullshit either. And I did not know that that Gigi Young was going to be like that. Some of you messaged me, commented, said that they always had bad feelings about her, but it's like, come on, honey. If people can't criticize you, then what's the point? Like, are you just queen of your teachings? Is that what that is? How many other spiritual teachers are like this? Because I get criticized all day, every day. And people have made videos about me in the past, really disturbing videos, like mean, hateful, calling me names. And all I did in that Gigi Young video was say, hey, honey, that doesn't sound right to me as someone out of that liminal phase, out of that sort of crazy conspiracy theory phase of my spiritual awakening. And spiritual escapism is kind of on its way out anyway. It doesn't work anymore. There's been something that has happened that exposed it all. Our brother in Christ, Aubrey Marcus, sort of kicked it off. And see, I thought that my opinions were rare about it. Like, I thought only my husband and myself were seeing this stuff. I thought we were the only ones going, this is getting kind of nuts. But see, it's a phase that you move through. You're not supposed to be there for very long. And eventually you will come back to a grounded reality and it will feel okay. You'll be better than ever. But so many people get stuck in that liminal phase, that transitionary phase. Let me read something. Let me read some notes here about spiritual escapism for you. Spiritual escapism is when you use spiritual practices to avoid facing difficult emotions, problems, or the realities of daily life. Instead of using spirituality as a tool for growth, a person may use it to escape pain, avoid confrontation, or seek a false sense of enlightenment, which can hinder personal development and prevent them from dealing with unresolved issues. This can lead to spiritual bypassing, where one avoids the messy parts of life that are crucial for growth. So when you become enlightened, when the process of becoming enlightened rips you to shreds, if you're really on an enlightenment track, you're probably gonna go nuts in the in that process. It's like becoming a Cenobite in a Hellraiser movie. It'll rip you up. It's like getting eaten by a dog and vomited out and chewed and spit up. Why is that? Because you have to go through a purification process. You will have mystery diseases, illnesses, and a bad reputation. So if you're the type of spiritual teacher who's trying to cultivate your reputation, and if you get upset when people criticize you, that's not enlightened. That's not awakened. That's not conscious. And, you know, I didn't get into the story too much. I mean, it just kind of was like, wow, you know, that's interesting. That's interesting. It is. So, you know, as spiritual escapism is on its way, it has to. Everybody's got to grow up. Everybody's got to grow up. You know, all these conspiracy theories are fun, but they cannot be confused for reality. And I want to talk about that. You know, I have been in my awakening journey. You know, the conspiracy theories seem to make sense when you're dealing with a certain type of consciousness. And this is something that I've talked about at length with other people and my husband as well, that we're not saying that that stuff is not going on a certain level. You know, let's talk about that cabal of child trafficker, you know, all this child trafficking network stuff that really came to prominence in 2018, 2019, 2020. Is that stuff really going on? Or is it something that is happening on another level of reality? Because to pull that kind of stuff off, whoo, boy, howdy. So I'm not saying that that's not going on. I'm not saying that anyone is misperceiving it in that way. But when you move up the levels and you move through the layers of healing and consciousness, and you start to realize that if it's not happening to me, it has nothing to do with me. If I can't do anything about it, then it makes no difference for me to know about it. And fear mongering and worrying about things that may or may not come to pass, it doesn't affect you. It doesn't mean that you're not compassionate. It means that you start to project love, compassion, and peace to everybody. And if people are struggling in parts of the world that you don't know about, well, guess what? Everybody's struggling. Everybody's having a rough time. I mean, even Gigi, she's having a rough time. She's having a real rough time. And I'll never talk about her work again. I won't. No. It does me no good to talk about that. But at the same time, what she does is spiritual escapism. It definitely is. So let me read some more about this. So the characteristics of spiritual escapism are avoidance of emotions, using spiritual practices like meditation or mindfulness to numb or avoid painful or uncomfortable feelings. And I've talked about this before. You don't need to meditate. You don't need to sit down and zone out for 30 minutes. You don't need to do that. When my brother-in-law were hanging out one day, he said, "Patrick, how often do you meditate?" I said, "I'm meditating right now. It's a practice. You just don't think." And many people can get caught up in, I just need to meditate. It can become an addiction. But there's a lot of spiritual teachers that run meditation retreats and offer meditations and stuff. I'm not saying that I don't enjoy doing it, but you really don't have to. If you're not thinking, if you can control your thoughts, if you can control your reactions, meditation won't do anything for you anyway. I have sat in this house and just sat still and stared at a wall for hours and been fine. You really don't have to meditate. That needing to meditate is kind of a myth. It's a myth. You don't need to do it. Another one is disconnecting from reality. Believing that a spiritual or enlightened state means disengaging from the material world and its challenges. Like some of you don't like me talking about politics, Trump. I see y'all skipping those videos, but you don't disconnect from reality. In fact, you lean into it. You get out of your comfort zone. You you do things that are difficult, because you may have heard this before. You can have growth or comfort, but you can't have both, honey. So a shaman will confront you. A shaman will make you feel uncomfortable. A shaman will call you out. And depending on how awakened you are, that will be your reaction. Your reaction will show you how awakened you are if a shaman calls you out. Because y'all can call me out on anything. And many people do. Probably people call me out on stuff more than they actually should. Sometimes people call me out on things that they're projecting onto me. It's wild. And you know, I haven't started a cult. Some people don't want to get called out, so they just start a cult. But you know, here at the Shaman Patrick Show, we have a cult-free guarantee. We're not starting a cult here, even though I have been tempted to from time to time. But we're not starting a cult here. No. The most I will do is, I think I'm going to start teaching classes. I'm going to have classes online that you can take. I think somebody suggested that to me, that they wanted to take an ego class, or you could just get our book. But I love teaching about the ego, and reactions and legal things and copyright strikes and all that stuff. Don't you talk about me. That is just pure, unadulterated ego. Just ego. But disconnect, like leaning into reality. Yeah, you don't have to have an opinion on what's going on in the world, but life will be challenging for you in an awakened state. It actually becomes more challenging the more you awaken, the more enlightened you are, because the universe is going to constantly test where you are. Oh, you think you're enlightened? Well, try this. Oh, you want to front like you're awakened? Okay, try this. The universe will constantly give you feedback as to where you are. I myself have had a series of challenges lately. And so what? It's stuff that would, if I told you about it, y'all would go, fuck, Patrick. But here I am. Hello. How you doing? It's probably been like that for 7 years. But I'm still laughing. I'm still having a good time. Even though I know most people would be frozen in fear. So disconnecting from the world, thinking you're above the things that go on in the world, that's spiritual escapism. Spiritual bypassing, justifying negative behaviors or avoiding responsibility by claiming it's for a higher spiritual purpose. So the justifying of negative behaviors. Let's just talk about some. Lying to people, gaslighting, covering things up, gossiping, cheating, stealing, all of that stuff. Spiritual bypassing. Let me put it to you this way. When I lost my job and I couldn't work anymore, we informed people in our life that I couldn't work my job anymore. And some people, well, one person said, well, if you're so spiritual, why can't you put up with that? If you're so spiritual, why can't you just put up with anything? That's not the point. The point is, if somebody is mistreating you, lying to you, nobody wants to be in that shit. Why do you think spiritual masters live in temples? Choose your battles. But no, my stomach issues and stuff got so bad, I just couldn't work anymore. I wanted to work, but spiritual bypassing would be let me be clarified. That person was attempting to spiritually bypass the uncomfortable parts of what was going on with me. I guess they thought I was faking, that I was faking being in pain. People show you who they are. When people show you who they are, believe them. Y'all heard that before? Believe them. Believe them. If you have people in your life, when you're in pain and they think you're faking, get the fuck away from them. For real, that's a dangerous situation. So spiritual ego, developing a sense of superiority based on spiritual beliefs, which can hide underlying insecurities and ego-driven desires. Now, I'm sure Miss Young might think I'm not worth responding to, or I'm not worth talking to, or that because I'm gay, I'm a degenerate. I heard something about that she might feel superior to me and my perspective as a shaman. I don't feel superior to anybody. I don't feel like I've got all the answers or the knowledge, and we watch out for those feelings of superiority. We watch out for those, because if we start to feel superior to other people, or that we're dispensing wisdom and knowledge, I mean, some of you want me to drop some spiritual truth on you, and I rein it in. I'm not going to reveal too much to you guys, because that's for you to discover. I want you to discover some of the things, because it will get revealed to you. I know that to be true. You're just going to unfold like a flower. And if I told you stuff, you wouldn't believe me anyway. I made a video about healing America. The last video I made was about healing America. Do you know that I chose my words with so much care, because I can't tell you what's really going on. You would be like, some of you might be able to handle it, but I can't share that stuff on YouTube. I just can't. And plus, I don't want to end up like spiritual teachers saying things or cashing checks or writing checks that their teachings can't cash. That's why I focus on the basics: ego, pain body, shadow work. And in one-on-one work, I can get a little bit freaky with people, but for YouTube, public facing stuff, it's going to be the basics, because if you have those basics down, everything else just gets revealed to you. All I do as a teacher is remind you of things that you already know. We clear away the cobwebs of the ego. We clear away the over-identification with the mind. I just help you clear that away. And I tell you some jokes along the way. That's all spiritual teachers do. So if a spiritual teacher is giving you hidden wisdom or secret knowledge, what are they doing? They should just be reminding you of who you really are. You're a divine being in a human body, having a human experience that you chose to have, just like me. What else could we talk about? Talk about things going on in the world. But sometimes spiritual teachers will think that talking about things going on in the world is beneath them. It's beneath me to even address this illusory world. It's just, it is an illusion. Yeah, it's an illusion, but you still have to fucking live in it. You can know it's an illusion and not take it all that seriously or personally, but it's still real. That's why we're getting into the body. We got to get into the body. Some spiritual teachers think that the body is disgusting. Eckhart Tolle talks about this in The Power of Now, but the body is the vehicle that you navigate this fake ass world in. Look good, feel good, smell good. Wanting to have a healthy body along with that healthy mind and that healthy spirit. Don't miss out on that vital combination of mind, body, and spirit. You got to have all three. You got to balance all three. And any shaman will tell you that. I don't know any really unhealthy shamans either. Now that I think about it, I don't know. I've not met an unhealthy shaman. And the fact of the matter is, many shamans have ongoing health issues. Why do shamans have ongoing health issues? To keep them humble. To keep them humble. So a spiritual teacher who doesn't have an ongoing health issue, they may not be very humble. Spirits will humble a shaman. Like boom, boom, boom. They will humble a shaman. And my ongoing stomach issues, which I wish I didn't have them, Some videos I make, I'm like, but I do the work anyway. And that's how I constantly prove to the spirits and the universe that I'm the man for the job. You got to prove this shit to spirits, because I could just lay down and not do the work. But the spirits have said, if you do your job, we're going to let go of your stomach. And every day I'm like, am I doing enough yet? Have I done enough work yet? When are you going to let go of my stomach? Please, 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 please. So I guess I just haven't worked hard enough yet. Which, if you're not a shaman or know about shamans, that would sound crazy to you. That would sound absolutely crazy. But my life's not my own. This is the Shaman Patrick show, but this is less about me than it is about y'all. That's for damn sure. And while we're talking about physical needs, focusing on spiritual development to the point of ignoring personal and physical responsibilities is part of that spiritual escapism. I would also add using drugs for spiritual reasons, calling illegal drugs medicine, is also part of that spiritual escapism. Nobody in their right mind would call illegal drugs medicine. No conscious person is going to be using illegal drugs because they don't need them. You really don't need the drugs. I've kind of been a l'enfant terrible. My French is terrible. Je m'appelle Patrick. But I've been sort of a wild child in what passes for the spiritual community by calling out the druggies and the sorcerers pretending to be shamans feeding people drugs. If somebody wants to feed you drugs, they're trying to control you and or manipulate you, because a real shaman, somebody who is doing their job, will not need to feed you drugs to help you have a spiritual experience. I can help you have a spiritual experience just by talking to you. And that's what we do. We unweave the mind in that way. Just by talking to you, I can help you have a spiritual experience. Don't need drugs. Anybody can feed somebody drugs and simulate a spiritual experience. Anybody can do that. There's no special training that you have to go through. You can just do it. You can look up a YouTube tutorial and feed somebody some DMT or some crystal meth, and voila, spiritual experience. But the real test of a shaman or a spiritual teacher or a guru is to be able to help you have a spiritual experience, or help you put some context to your spiritual experiences without feeding you a drug or lying to you. I mean, I tell people the truth and they have a spiritual experience from that. I don't have to make things up to help people. I don't have to introduce a mythology or a secret cabal of anything like that. You really don't have to do that. But I also understand that it might be necessary to teach people that so that they can move beyond it. Okay. That's why I'm not going to talk shit about spiritual teachers anymore, because that is a necessary part of it. Because somebody's got to feed the spiritual ego, because the bigger the spiritual ego gets, it'll eventually collapse. The structures that prop that spiritual ego up, you'll get so full of bullshit and nonsense that it'll eventually collapse under its own weight. And then you're like, oh, it doesn't mean that it's wrong. It doesn't mean that it's not true, but it interfaces with the spiritual ego. So pump them up, pump that spiritual ego up. Now, I want to help you here. I want to help you overcome spiritual escapism. So acknowledge your emotions instead of fleeing from them, and try to confront and acknowledge your feelings with compassion. If you're trying to stuff down your anger, don't do it. Don't do it. Get angry. Get upset. If you have a lot of unconscious and unresolved anger, it's going to come out. You're going to be a dick to people. You're going to be mean to people. If somebody makes a YouTube video about you, you're going to strike their channel if you've got a lot of unresolved anger. So you have to deal with it. What's the best way to deal with that? Get to the fucking gym. Work out. I mean, I put off going to the gym to deal with my anger for so long. And then it's just become a necessity. I got to go there. I got to push some weights around. I got to exhaust myself. I got to do that because I had so much unconscious anger. I was like a ticking time bomb. I was like a ticking time bomb. So was my husband. We've gone through so much shit and we're nice people. Okay. My husband and I are nice people, but our families did such fucked up shit to us. And it made us angry. It should make you angry when people lie to you, cheat you, open checking accounts in your name, sabotage you, assassinate your character. You're going to tell me that people are going to do this shit to you and you're not going to get angry over that? But you can't get angry at them because they're unconscious. They don't know what they're doing. They'll say, they didn't open a checking account in your name. They'll say they didn't try to do insurance fraud on you. They didn't. Oh, I didn't lie to you. I didn't gaslight you. Unconscious people do unconscious things. You can't be upset at them, but you will be angry at them. So you have to find some way to release that anger. All right. But you have to integrate spirituality and reality. Understand that your physical existence is a part of your spiritual journey, not something to escape. There's something, I heard this, that somebody said, well, I only hang out with spiritual people. I don't want to hang out with low vibe people. Low vibe people. Don't bring that negativity in here. But here's the thing. If you are creating a morphogenetic field, people won't be negative around you. They won't complain around you. They won't do any of that stuff. If you have a really powerful morphogenetic field, people will come to you. Listen, I was at Walmart this morning because do I go to Walmart almost every day? I do, because we forget stuff. So I was at Walmart and I was checking out and we were cutting up. I was cutting up with the workers and they're like, hey, baby. Hey, what's up? Cutting up. I cut up with people all the time. Nobody's negative around me. I can't remember the last time somebody was negative around me. That's because I focus on creating a really powerful morphogenetic field. It's a pusher out of bullshit. It pushes that bullshit right out. And you cannot develop that morphogenetic field when you're being so damn resistant. You accept, here, if you accept people being negative, they will eventually not be negative. That's how that works. If you can accept people being, maybe people are being negative and it just doesn't bother me anymore. That could be true as well. It could be a lot of things. But then again, I don't hang out with complaining, bitter, angry, dry drunk. I don't hang out with people like that anymore. And if you're complaining about people being negative in your life, maybe you just need to do some house cleaning or set some damn boundaries. But you can also practice conscious escapism. Acknowledge when you need a break for comfort or relaxation, but do so with awareness rather than as a way to permanently avoid difficulties. So I love my escapism. I love it. I love examining timeline shit. I mean, Merrick and I talk about it all the time. Like when Cheddar came back and he looked like he was fine, like he hadn't been gone for a week. When he rolled back in the house, like, hey, what's up? We're like, well, he must have come from another timeline. Whenever we hear a noise in the house, it's like, oh, that's probably a ghost. It's probably a spirit. Sometimes it is. But we know that those rules don't necessarily apply in a grounded reality. I mean, I'm a Namo. I'm an alien in a human body. But what does that have to do with right now? Nothing. Nothing. It has nothing to do with nothing. It might inform some of the things that I talk about, creator of culture, being a shaman, of course, all that stuff. But I don't necessarily tell everybody what it was like to become a shaman. Sometimes people will ask And I'll say I died and came back to life, spirits killed me, blah, blah, blah. But none of the afterlife adventures that I've had have any bearing or grounding on right here, right now. It means nothing. People can get all wrapped up in, I'm a star seed, I'm from this, I'm that, I'm a goddess. I mean, one woman recently told me to not challenge her because she was a high priestess from some other planet. And I'm like, but you ain't on that planet now, honey. You ain't on that planet now. We're here. We're all incarnated here for a very specific purpose. What that is, I know my soul mission. What's yours, honey? But you stay grounded. You keep your spiritual practices rooted in reality and ensure they are helping you deal with the here and now rather than distracting you from it. But this is probably the most important thing that I'm going to say in this video. Address the root cause. Look for the underlying causes of your desire to escape, such as stress, anxiety, fear, or dissatisfaction, and address them directly. Because, you know, the hardest thing that I had to deal with was that I came from a screwed up family. And I had married into a family that was just as sick or as fucked up as the family that I came from. My therapist and I laughed about it. I'm like, what are the chances that my in-laws could be just as sick as the family of my family of origin? She's like, probably the same. Dealing with those uncomfortable things, dealing with the fact that people who say that they love you may not actually love you or even know how to love you because they don't love themselves. Underlying the root cause. What causes IBS? If you were emotionally abused as a child, you will develop IBS. Guaranteed. So it'll start 30s, 40s, 50s. It happens later in life. And I had to come to terms with the fact that I was emotionally abused as a child. I was. But when I tried to talk to other family members, they were so offended by it. I'm like, I'm not trying to blame anybody. I'm not trying to have retribution to anybody. I just don't want to have fucking weirdness with y'all. But when you're speaking the truth in a dysfunctional, sick-ass family, you will never be believed again. That's why it's dangerous to have people in your life that don't believe. They were so offended by the fact that I said my father emotionally abused me. And I'm like, well, he abused you too. Wasn't just me. I'm not the special one. Hey, this is why you have this drug addiction. To my sister, this is why you're addicted to drugs. To my other sister, this is why you're 500 pounds. This is why everybody's screwed up. Now, don't pass this shit on to your kids. No, they were not set up to hear that. That's the root cause of what was God. That's the root cause of most of the shit in my life, not knowing I was emotionally abused. But once I knew that, I knew how to heal from that. You have to heal from stuff. If you don't heal from stuff, you're constantly going to want to escape. Escape. But spirituality can be a form of escapism if used to avoid the realities of life. Now, in law of attraction teachings, they'll tell you to ignore reality to manifest what you want. Just ignore reality to manifest what you want. But you have to somewhat stay grounded in reality. You will love being in your body. You will love dealing with reality as it is, because spiritual escapism can be a drug. It can be a drug where you don't deal with anything. Now, if you think that I just never used spirituality to escape, you would be wrong. I did. I used it a lot to escape. I got so into some of the teachers that I now look at and go, oh my God, I can't believe I followed that stuff. I used to love that stuff, the energies and the timelines and all of that stuff. But you know what? It never helped me with my core issues, my core physical issues. And that's what a shaman will help you do. And that's what a good spiritual teacher will help you do. They'll say, yeah, that's mind candy. Yeah, that's great, but it doesn't matter. In fact, if you get too into that spiritual awakening and spiritual escapism, I mean, let me say that better. If you get too far into that spiritual escapism, you might think you're awakening, but you're not. You're just getting faster asleep. You're just going back to sleep. So a true spiritual awakening, it is dealing with uncomfortable emotions. It is not it's not picture perfect. It's not pretty. It's ugly, reputation destroying, and people will think you're crazy. People will think you're crazier than a crystal toting mama in a caftan, because people will sense it. They will sense that something has shifted. Now, I'll see other awakened people out in public, and it's like there's an understanding that happens. Like, hey, what's up? Hey, you having fun? Yeah, having fun. Good to see you. It's like there's this brotherhood and sisterhood of awakened people. Now, when I say this, I am not one of these people that goes, oh, I'm awakened. I don't even mention it in my real life. I have not said one word about my awakening outside of recovery meetings. And even then, I don't even talk about it unless that's the topic of a meeting. It's something that is not mentioned. It is something that is not talked about. But I did make that mistake in the early days of my awakening, thinking that it somehow made me special or unique or able to access certain information that other people can't access. Look, spiritual awakening is the great equalizer. It is the thing that will bring you down to the level of a sidewalk. No one's better or smarter than anybody else. It actually makes you dumb. And awakening makes you dumb. It removes complications from your life. And so, as I end this video today, I want to talk about that. I thought about combating that copyright strike by Gigi Young. I could, but is it worth it? No, it's not worth it at all. I mean, because when you strike a channel, you're trying to harm them. You're trying to harm somebody if you strike their channel. Any YouTuber knows that you're trying to hurt people. And you know what? I don't want to hurt Gigi back. I don't want to hurt her back. She's hurting enough already. Hurt people. They do. So she might think I'm not worth responding to. Fine, whatever. But she claims to really love the work of Edgar Cayce, and people who love Edgar Cayce, they love talking to me. They love it. Tell me about Hopkinsville. Tell me about what it's like there. And I usually say it's like a bunch of meth heads and corruption, but so if you can identify where you are escaping in your spirituality, address the root cause and let it go. When I got to the phase of spiritual awakening, I just went down my YouTube and just said, stop recommending channels. I'm not ever going to unsubscribe from a YouTube channel, because I know that other YouTubers need those subscribers to hit certain milestones. So I'll never unsubscribe from a YouTube channel, but I will have the algorithm stop recommending it to me. So, I'm actually a nice guy. I think about other people a lot, probably more than I actually should, than is healthy. But you know what? My life is not even my own anymore. And usually when people want to hurt me, I just let them hurt me, because I know that they're in more pain than I am. And plus I can take it, bitch. I'm a shaman. So yeah, spiritual escapism is killing you. Don't do it. You don't have to do it. And in fact, it's actually kind of cringe at some point. All right, I love you so much. Here is another song from our just released album, So You Want to Be Enlightened, where the whole album is on YouTube, but there's a digital deluxe version that you can get from our website at concreteshamans.com with 4 extra tracks. I love it so much. I love this album. I love it. It's catharsis. It's like a spiritual book in an audio form. All right, I'm going to get out of your hair. Enjoy this song. I love you so much. Have a wonderful day. Mwah.
Through the river and the trees, I came to be, I came to be. On the river and the roads, I learned to grow, I learned to grow. I've seen the streets of LA, I don't know if they look better today. I've seen the sights in Peru, came home a little different, I guess I grew. But the real growth happens in the heart, not what we see, like my mama told me. Real growth is more than saying you'll start, it's not your castles like my father believes. But then, I was able to see. Through the river and the trees, I came to be, I came to be. On the river and the roads, I learned to grow, I learned to grow. Through the struggles and the pain, I only gained, I only gained. When others yelled and screamed, I came to be, I came to be. I went down to the river to get a drink. People looked at me like I was insane, crazy. You can't drink that water, they said. Why don't you drink this wine with us instead? I turned around to see a chaotic scene, people grimacing as if in a dark, dark dream, hiding knives behind their backs so no one else could see. I tried to point it out, they told me I was being mean. It didn't matter to tell them they were mad. They scoffed at me and said I didn't understand. As they sharpened their blades, hate in their face, I turned to the trees and ran away. Through the river and the trees, I came to be, I came to be. On the river and the roads, I learned to grow, I learned to grow. Through the struggles and the pain, I only gained, I only gained. When others yelled and screamed, I came to be, I came to be. All the years I spent out there led me to this truth from the pain, I only gained, I only gained. When others yelled and screamed, I came to be, I came to be.